Alrighty then. Good morning, Bumble Jeepers. Um, okay, so came in early for me, about 8:45. Scuffed these off, um, wiped them down with a tack cloth, mixed up my paint, and this is the first coat. So, some things I've learned about working with a Harbor Freight spray gun and Rust-Oleum oil-based high gloss enamel. First, on the spray gun, you want to crank your volume down a little bit on the paint. Keep your pressure low on that gun, and you get a nice smooth. Now this will flatten out a little bit, and then when I put the second coat on and possibly a third, it'll get even smoother. I used the, here we go, Valspar enamel hardener. Only because Rust-Oleum doesn't make one, and I've seen this in other YouTube videos where they use the Valspar enamel hardener with Rust-Oleum, and it seems to work really well. So the other thing you want to do, pardon me if I repeat myself, but you want to crank the flow down. I did say that, sorry. That gives you a really nice even. Now I didn't do that when I sprayed the primer, and I ended up, I don't know if you can see it in here, but I ended up with a little run or sag along this body line on both sides of the hood. And you can see it more on this side. Now that'll go away a little bit with the next coat of paint. So if I'd have had that flow rate cranked down, it would have flowed on a little better and not so heavy. Excuse me. So, this is going to do a good job. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the first time I did this. That was all aerosol cans, and it turned out really nice. I thought, and others that saw it couldn't believe it was just a spray bomb paint job. But I have to say, I do enjoy using a gun more than a rattle can. Just it's easier to pull a trigger than it is to push a button. Your finger gets sore after a while with spray cans, especially when you're painting large areas. I think when I did this originally, I did the hood and the fender and the header panel and grill. Pretty much what I'm doing right now, the first time. And so, and I can't tell you how many cans of rattle can spray paint I went through with the Rust-Oleum. Now we're going to see how good this Rust-Oleum paint matches up with the aerosol cans, because the left front fender is still done with the aerosol cans. One little lesson I've learned when opening a can of paint, I've always poked like 4 or 5 holes in the drip edge in the can, and then before I put the lid on, I clean it up, get it nice and clean, then put the lid back on. With this stuff, you don't want to do that. I did that with this can of primer. This can of primer and this can of yellow. And both of those, when I opened them back up, had a skin on top. The yellow, I'm not even going to worry about. It's cheap enough. It's under $10 a can for a quart. So if I need more, I'll just go over to Lowe's and get more. But yeah, the holes, it's a good idea as far as the material draining back into the can. And if you're going to be using the whole can in one shot, then definitely do that, because it makes pouring it into a mixing cup a lot easier. Mixing ratios on this, today I used 10 ounces of the color, 2 ounces of the enamel hardener, and topped it off to 16 with the paint thinner, and it sprayed really nice. I hope this dries a little quicker. It's supposed to be A high of about 86 today here in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so there you go. First coat done. Gonna go do some other stuff on the Jeep in the meantime, and be back when it's time for the second coat, after the second coat. Later.